Hello everyone, I am Devasis. Welcome to the presentation for the paper Conic Formation in Presence of Faulty Robots. This is a joint work with my supervisor Partha at IIT Guwahati and Klaus and Stefan at the University of Vienna. This research work and my visit to the University of Vienna was sponsored by the Science and Engineering Research Board, Government of India. The motivation behind the paper mainly stems from self-organization. A group of robots forming a pattern is a prime example of self-organization in distributed system. The pattern formation problem has been studied extensively over the last 2 decades with many variations under different models. Similar to any distributed system, faults are prevalent here as well. So we initiate the study on the pattern formation problem with faults. Pattern formation is a well-studied problem over the years. Arbitrary pattern formation for asynchronous oblivious robots was addressed by Flauchini et al. Similarly, pattern formation with limited visibility was also presented by Yamauchi et al. A sequence of pattern that can be formed by oblivious robots is also addressed in the literature. Very special cases of pattern formation were also considered. Some of them are plane formation in 3D and uniform circle formation. We consider the most popular models in the swarm robot literature. The robots are represented in a plane as dimensionless points. The robots are homogeneous, that is, they are indistinguishable from each other and follow the same algorithm. They are oblivious, they do not have persistent memory, so they cannot remember their past actions. They do not possess identifiers, so they are anonymous. The communication between the robots is implicit rather than explicit, hence, they are silent. The robots are activated in rounds. On each activation, the robots follow the look, compute, move cycle. In the look step, it takes a snapshot of the surrounding and gathers the information about the position of all other robots in its local coordinate system. In the compute step, it computes a destination based on the information it has gathered. In the move step, it moves to that destination. In this paper, we consider a fully synchronous scheduler. Under fully synchronous, all the robots are activated at the same time. The robots do not have any agreement on the coordinate system. The movement of the robots is rigid, that is, they reach the destination in the same round. The robots are susceptible to crash fault. After a robot crashes, it cannot move. First, we define some notations. Configuration C is the set of robot positions on the two-dimensional Euclidean plane. Capital P is the length of the pattern and U is the corresponding uniform distance. The objective of this paper is to form a conic pattern with all the robots. Both faulty and non-faulty robots must be included in the same pattern. Since the robots are oblivious and there are no distinctive features, the robots cannot distinguish between a faulty and non-faulty robot by looking. Hence the problem is challenging. The algorithm should relocate the robots to new positions such that the coordinates will satisfy the second-degree general equation representing a conic. The target pattern is determined corresponding to the number of faults. For f equal to 1 it is a point, f equal to 2 is line, f equal to 3 is circle and f equal to 4 is parabola. Since 5 points uniquely determine the conic, we form one of parabola, hyperbola or ellipse for f equal to 5. We have the following assumptions under which we solve the problem. We also relax some of the assumptions later. Number of faulty robots f is known beforehand. All the faulty robots have crashed initially before the start of the algorithm. All initial configurations are asymmetric. This is required for leader election. All robots occupy initially distinct positions in a deterministic algorithm. The robots located at the same position have the same view and move to the same point. So if two non-faulty robots are co-located, they will remain co-located thereafter. The last assumption that the faulty robots form a convex polygon is required since no conic pattern in R2 is possible when one robot is located inside the triangle formed by three other robots. First, we solve the problem for f equal to 1. The target pattern is a point. The point formation problem is also known as gathering. The algorithm here is very simple. If you see only one robot, move to that robot's position. Since we already know that one of the robots is faulty, hence the non-faulty robot will move to the faulty robot. When there are more than two robots, everyone moves to the center of the smallest enclosing circle. If the faulty robot is already at the center, then we are done. Otherwise, it is the same situation as two robots. Before we go to the algorithm, we show lower bound on the number of rounds required. We prove that at least 2 rounds are needed for this. The idea goes like this. In the first round, there are no difference between a faulty and non-faulty robot. The initial configuration can be constructed such that no F plus 1 robot lie on the same pattern. The adversary can choose a different set of F robots to be faulty for the same initial configuration. Hence, the deterministic algorithm fails to form a pattern in one round. Next, we show that the lower bound on the number of robots. We show that at least 2F plus 1 robots are needed. This is because to decide the target pattern to move to, a majority is needed. Since F robots are faulty, we can guarantee that at least one robot moves when there are 2F plus 1 robots. Before we go into the algorithm, we first define the different types of configurations. In a terminal configuration, all the robots are on the target pattern. In a type I configuration, exactly n minus f robots are on the target pattern. It is a type O configuration if it is not the type I configuration or the terminal configurations. Type I configurations are further categorized as symmetric and asymmetric type I configurations. Next, we define uniform configurations, where all the robots are positioned at uniform distances on the pattern. Hence, the distance between two consecutive robots are the same. In a quasi-uniform configuration, at least half of the uniform positions are occupied. We use a previous result on leader election to determine an order among the robots in the configuration. In the algorithm, the configurations can be initial, transitional, or final. Now let's come to the algorithm. The algorithm is a two-step process. In the first step, we determine the faulty robots. As I mentioned previously, it is not possible to distinguish between faulty and non-faulty robots, but we have their positions. The target is to form a uniform pattern. The faulty robots cannot move, so the resulting configuration after round 1 contains the faulty robots at non-uniform positions. In round 2, the algorithm moves all the robots to a pattern which passes through the determined faulty robots, and we are done. Here the challenge lies at carefully selecting the target patterns such that we do not go into a loop when a supposedly transitional configuration appears in the initial configuration, as any asymmetric configuration can be an initial configuration. Now we saw the target pattern specific to the configurations. In case of type O, the robots form the target pattern outside the smallest enclosing circle. Hence we can determine the faulty robots that remain on one side or inside the target pattern in the next round. To ensure that the target pattern remains outside the smallest enclosing circle, we choose the midpoint of the target pattern for f equal to 2 at the distance of diameter from the center of the smallest enclosing circle, as you can see in this figure. So what is happening here is the A is chosen as the leader of the configuration. So we take a ray starting from O and that is passing through A, extend it until B, where the distance OB is same as the diameter of the smallest enclosing circle, and then we take the target line perpendicular to the line OA. So now all the target pattern points are lying on this line which is perpendicular to the extended radial ray. Similarly, in case of the circle, the f equal to 3 case, we choose A as the leader and then take the radius of the new circle as the diameter of the smallest enclosing circle, and then place all the uniform points on the circle with respect starting from the point where the extended ray passing through A, which is the leader of the configuration, uh, meets the target pattern, which is B, and all the other positions are uniformly positioned with respect to B. For f equal to 4 and 5, we also do something similar to the line. So to choose the parabola, we first find A, the leader in the current configuration, and O is the center of the smallest enclosing circle. First we take find the point B, which is at a distance diameter from the center O along the line extended line OA. Then we take a line perpendicular to OA which acts as the latus rectum of the parabola. The length of the latus rectum of the parabola is twice the diameter of the smallest enclosing circle. Then we choose the uniform points between the endpoints of the latus rectum of the parabola where it intersects the parabola and so the in between this curve. So on this curve we choose the uniform points such that it is at distance u by 2 from one endpoint of the latus rectum of the parabola and all the endpoints are at distance u. Here we have chosen u equal to p by n where p is the length of the pattern. Now once all the robots move to this parabola, the faulty robots would remain inside the circle. And so thus in the next round we can always determine the faulty robots by as the robots which are lying inside the parabola on the side of the focus. For asymmetric type I, the target pattern is determined through the robots that are not part of the pattern in the current configuration. The robots which are already on the target pattern are also required to move to occupy a uniform position. In type I, we see for f equal to 2, we have 2 points A and B which are not lying on the pattern of the existing configuration, which is this line found by the robots current positions. Now since A and B do not lie on this line, so they will determine the target pattern passing through A and B, since we assume that the F robots which do not lie on the pattern for asymmetric type I are the faulty robots. But even when we assume that, we still assign uniform position destinations to A and B as well, so that we can guarantee that if A and B are non-faulty, then they will lie at uniform positions after they have moved. Similarly, for f equal to 3, the robots which are not on the current circle, which is the solid circle in the figure, and they are this 3 robots are not on the current solid circle, they are on the dash circle. So basically 3 robots can always form a circle, and we find a circle passing through those 3 robots. Then we find uniform points on the circle such that they do not coincide with the existing robots which are already on the dash circle, and they also do not coincide with the intersection of the 2 circles. For f equal to 4, we determine a parabola which passes through the 4 robots which are not on the parabola of the existing configuration. Now we determine all the uniform points on the part of the parabola which lies between the intersection points where the latus rectum of the parabola intersects the parabola. So we know the number of robots, and the length of the pattern is basically the length of the parabolic curve from one endpoint of latus rectum to another endpoint of latus rectum along the parabolic curve, and we place all the uniform points in that region. The story is similar for f equal to 5. In case of a symmetric type I, there are 2 destinations chosen for the robots on the line of symmetry. Unless the robots on the line of symmetry are faulty, the resulting configuration would be asymmetric. As shown in the figure, we have this robot C has 2 destinations on the target pattern, and it can only move to one of the 2 destinations. So in the resulting configuration, the same line of symmetry would not hold, since C would lie on only one side of the configuration. In case of the symmetric type I configuration for f equal to 3, we can see there are 2 robots which are on the line of symmetry. One is on the existing pattern circle and one is on the target pattern circle. For both of them, we assign two destinations on either side of the line of symmetry. They will move to one of the 2 points and the resulting configuration would be asymmetric. For f equal to 4 and f equal to 5, the story is similar to the case of line. Only one point would be on the line of symmetry. Either it is on the target pattern or the existing pattern. It will have two destinations on either side of the line of symmetry and it will only move to one of them. In all the previous scenarios, the robots move to uniform positions on the target pattern. When we choose the uniform positions on the target pattern, we ensure that the target patterns do not overlap with any of the existing positions in the current configuration or the intersection point of the current pattern and target pattern. As shown in the figure, the chosen uniform distance u equal to p by n coincides with the intersection of the target patterns, which are two lines. So you choose u prime equal to p by n plus 1 to avoid the intersection point D. So similar approach is followed for other patterns as well. Now we show the correctness of our algorithms in the following lemmas. We ensure that all the destinations for the robots are distinct and there are no overlap between the points of existing configuration and the positions of the target pattern. Both the type O and type I configuration, we can determine the faulty robots in one round. After first round, we can uniquely determine the target pattern passing through the faulty robots. Using these lemmas, we show that our algorithm terminates in at most 2 rounds and solves conic formation. By design of our algorithm, the non-faulty robots are always positioned at uniform positions, and thus we can determine the faulty robots unless the initial configuration is a terminal configuration. We also propose to relax some of the assumptions we had considered initially. Not knowing the exact number of faults but rather than an upper bound, we can still solve the problem. We can ease the restriction on initial configurations by including configurations with reflective symmetry. We can form a line for f equal to 3, 4 and 5 and similarly we can form a circle for f equal to 4 and 5. In conclusion, we present a framework for pattern formation with faults. We show our algorithm is optimal with respect to the number of rounds and the number of robots. This is the first work of its kind and many future work directions are possible, such as extending to semi-synchronous scheduling as well as generalizing the number of faults to more than 5. Thank you for your time.